Luigi Mexa dice gracias a todos por suscribirse y su like.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Newswave. Well, wouldn't you know it, a couple of hours after Newswave went live yesterday, Nintendo announces a Direct for today. And in fact, it will be airing a couple of hours after Newswave goes live this morning. But I figured leading into that, we could go over some of the things we could expect, as well as a few things that have actually been hinted at for this presentation. And of course, I'll be doing a full reaction to it after the Direct happens and then posting later on this morning. So I guess keep an eye out for that one. We also have PlayStation Plus for the month of April being revealed, and looks like one of the better lineups I've seen in quite some time. And with the shutdown of Monolith Productions, of course, there was a lot of people reflecting on their history and different games even before Shadow of Mordor. Well, there's one series in particular people are calling for making a return, and it looks like a few people right now are pretty optimistic about this actually happening, maybe with a full-on remaster. All of that and more. So if you guys enjoy these videos, make sure you hit that like button. Helps out a ton. And if you're new here to the Small Wave channel, make sure you subscribe down below. And of course, members for the channel do get Newswave early. If you would like to learn more about that, click the join button or the link in the description down below. And we're going to start today with the Nintendo Switch 2. Go figure. We'll be seeing much more about this next week when they do that presentation. Of course, today is more about the Switch 1, or the current Switch, with the Direct that's upcoming. But it seems like Nintendo, of course, is setting things up, getting ready for next week, not just for the digital presentation, but also the hands-on experiences that are going to be taking place afterwards, which I think people have kind of forgotten a little bit about that. I mean, only certain people got in, of course, for the hands-on events, but like you can see this video here, this was posted up over on the Nintendo Switch 2 subreddit, showing the first footage of the Nintendo Switch 2 Experience event in New York. And I mean, it's what you'd expect, the big Nintendo Switch 2 logo, all decked out in red, Experience New York, but naturally people are zooming in. What's in those boxes there? Are there Switch 2s in there? And I mean, look, clearly they're getting set up for when the Switch 2 event happens, and they have to keep things under wrap here, but it's just exciting, of course, going into a new generation, asking questions, trying to get any little glimpse you can of the device.
Hola, ¿quién anda ahí?
After the event next week, I mean, just a
escucha
few
bien?
days
¿Se ve bien
after,
todo?
people will have hands-on time with
empieza
it.
el
The
direct.
press and media will also be doing
direct.
hands-on, so we'll be hearing all kinds of
Saldrá
stuff, I'm sure,
Bloodborne
about the
2.
different games, the system itself, how it works, snapping the Joy-Cons on. There'll be a lot of stuff coming out, and it should be pretty fun. Also, we did have a new fighter that was announced for recent Fatal Fury, and it's Cristiano Ronaldo. Yeah, take a look. Here's the trailer for it. Now, apparently, Ronaldo will have a couple of different moves here, which includes headed clearance. Looks like a headbutt, an echo shot. He actually kicks the ball at the opponent. And their description reads, one of the top football players in the world. He uses his time off to visit Southtown to hone his new football skills. The various techniques he has developed playing football make him an unstoppable force even in the season. I'm sorry, I'm just looking at this trailer right now, seeing Cristiano Ronaldo just kick a ball at some of these opponents, which is, I mean, just hilarious. And it's weird. It caught a lot of people off guard to see Cristiano Ronaldo in this trailer. But I mean, he's very famous. There's also ties between SNK ownership and the club that he's currently playing for. So that all lines up. Either way, he'll be making his way to February at the end of next month. So I guess keep an eye out if you want to kick a ball at some of the different fighters in the game. Oh, and it does look like we'll be seeing Rocksteady stick with Unreal Engine for the next Batman game, which we can see this posted up. This is over on Tech4Gamers, saying job listings for the project confirm that the team intends to use Unreal Engine 5 during development. The project is also targeting a cross-generation launch with PS5, Xbox Series X, and then future consoles, which, not shocking, we've discussed this one. And guys, with some of the quick news out of the way, let's get into the bigger stuff. Let's start right away with the Nintendo Direct that'll be airing here in a couple of hours. In fact, we can see Nintendo with the official announcement here on their account, where they say tune in tomorrow, March 27th, 7 a.m. Pacific or 10 a.m. Eastern Time for a live stream Nintendo Direct featuring around 30 minutes of upcoming games for Nintendo Switch. There will be no updates about Nintendo Switch 2 during this presentation. And then they follow up once again, just reminding everyone, hey, the Switch 2 will be shared, that information, on April 2nd, 6 a.m. Pacific in a Nintendo Direct. So yes, we have what looks to be 2 general Nintendo Directs, although next week's is focused specifically on the Switch 2, but it's going to be a ton of information there. It's technically a general Direct plus in that regard. So 2 general Directs in about 7 days. That's quite a bit of information to be jam-packing there, especially with a 30-minute Direct like this. I'd be expecting like 25 games or so to be highlighted. Just, they go through almost rapid-fire pace. A lot of times it's like 60 seconds per game, and then they hit you with the sizzle reel, and before you know it, you have near 30 games that have been announced. So, yes, Nintendo is about to announce a ton of stuff, I feel like, for the current Switch, and things coming out in the near future, probably up to end of summer, maybe? And that's going to be kind of weird for people to realize, oh, wow. Okay, we're going to have a lot of Switch stuff coming out, even past the Switch 2 reveal, where a lot of focus will be on that. But also, these Switch 1 games are going to work on the Switch 2. So for Nintendo, looking at that large install size, yeah, let's take advantage of software sales in this regard and try to make a bunch of money after building up this install size of more than 150 million for 8 years. However, there are a couple of interesting side notes here heading into the presentation. Just some fun things to speculate on and see if we get any of them right. So, for example, we can see this is posted up. This is transcribed over on My Nintendo News, referring to Jeff Grubb here on his podcast, where he said, the reason I learned about this Nintendo Direct is because of a partner game, and there's going to be a game that will cause a lot of conversation, and it's not necessarily a Nintendo one. So, naturally, this started having people try to just guess what exactly he's talking about. And sure, third party could be another platform holder. It could be Microsoft or Sony with a game there. And the only thing with that is I immediately paused when I realized, okay, they wouldn't be there with a Switch 2 game, they'd be there with a Switch 1 game. So how far can they push that platform now that they haven't tried to do over the last couple of years now? And I know Sony's just kind of recently started doing that with things like the Lego Horizon game that didn't exactly do great in general, but I still feel like they would be looking to leverage the Switch or Switch 2 in some regard going forward. So while it's possible either of those could be there, would Microsoft really surprise anyone? Probably not. Hey, unless they got Master Chief Collection running on it, they'd be like, okay, that's going to cause some conversation. But not really with Microsoft. So beyond that, the third party that came to mind that would definitely cause some conversation is Palworld, mostly because they're meeting them in the courtroom. Palworld, so it'd be weird if they sue them. But then also, oh yeah, you can bring Palworld to the Switch. Although who knows, maybe that's been planned for a while. That's something where I'd be like, oh, okay, that one's weird, and people are definitely going to be tweeting about that later. Now, the other thing actually has to do with Sakurai, which we can see over on his official account. He did quote tweet the Nintendo Direct announcement saying, oh, I see, and that alone is enough. That was it. It blew up online after that. It's like, oh yeah, look at that, a Direct. It's like, wait a minute. What do you mean? What do you mean? Oh, I see, Sakurai. So now people, of course, going from this to something like Kid Icarus Uprising getting a remaster, which would be really cool to see because that game, I mean, it's a good game. It was just definitely hampered by the limited control scheme that was available on the 3DS, and that is certainly a title that I think would really be able to spread its wings, no pun intended, on a system that is more capable with the Switch, and I really hope it's there. I think that'd be awesome. Otherwise, though, we'll find out here in a couple of hours if we get something weird from Sony or Microsoft or a Palworld or something people have been really wanting to see with Sakurai bringing over Kid Icarus. Next up, let's talk about PlayStation Plus Essential for the month of April. And these games will be going live April 1st, which it's always funny when companies launch stuff even into a subscription service on April Fool's Day, but here we are. Let's take a look. This is over on PlayStation Blog. And let's see, we have RoboCop Rogue City.
Digimon.
We have the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and then we have Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. Okay, so Cyber Sleuth in general, I'll be honest, those definitely merge together for me. Like, there's a couple of them, and I think they're better than Digimon Survive personally, because they're more like that standard traditional RPG style. But also you still have a bunch of different Digimon to raise and adventure with. In this case, they mentioned 320 of them to discover, and I played it for a bit. It's funny, I played this on the Vita. That's where I really remember playing this, as funny as that sounds. But it works well as I think a handheld title. However, here on the PS5, backwards compatible through with the PS4. I think it'd work well actually on the Portal now that I'm thinking about it. Anyway, then we also have the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which is a pretty fun multiplayer game. And if you have a couple of friends, and even if it's kind of like that asymmetric horror style game where you have survivors that are just trying to escape, and then you have like the family that then tries to hunt them down. And it is a good time, legitimately, with just some of their quirks and different abilities each one has versus the other. So it was a fun game that we played for a good part of a month, I feel like, and had a pretty good time with it. But to me, the standout here, certainly RoboCop Rogue City. If you have not played this game, I fully recommend it. It is a lot of fun. Definitely a callback for like if you're a fan of like the old RoboCop movie. I mean, I know that the newer one is like, people looked at it and said, okay, the old RoboCop movie had definitely had parents talking quite a bit because it was like super violent and stuff, but it was just awesome. And this game kind of keeps that same aesthetic to it, and the ultra violence is there in spades. So fully recommend RoboCop Rogue City if you have not played. Obviously, it's definitely worth a download, I'll say that. And again, these will go live April 1st, so next week, definitely check them out. Next up, let's talk about Monolith Productions, who, of course, shut down after WB decided that, no, it wasn't going to work out with Wonder Woman, and like that was it. Over. For a very storied studio. In fact, we're going back now for something with one of their older IPs to like 2000. Yeah, so a while ago. And in this case, it's No One Lives Forever. And it's a franchise that I had it on the PC. I didn't have it on the PC, but it came out on the PC. It came out on the PS2. Then we had a second one that was on the PC. And I had heard about the game and seen it here or there, but I didn't like play it or really get into it. But I have been interested to try it out. So when I went to look around, I realized, wow, this really isn't available for sale anywhere. You have to go and get the physical disc and case with the CD key and everything on PC to buy it, quote unquote, legitimately. Well, it does appear that many companies are aware of this. We've seen GOG put up like polls where they're asking, hey, which game would you like to see patched for compatibility, we'll say, with the GOG remaster and things they're doing for preservation. And then also, Night Dive appears to be looking into this. Now, this is posted up over on VGC, where they say in a recent discussion with VGC, Night Dive studio head Stephen Kick and director of business development Larry Cooperman said they were still hopeful they could one day remaster the game despite recent developments. Saying, quote, I don't think we really know how that's going to shake out. I think that's too recent an event, and I'm not sure. There's a certain challenge to that, but again, I'm not sure how that whole thing is going to shake out at this point, and I'm still optimistic on that. That was the word I was going to use, because any time that there's just a general kind of shift in the industry, it does open some windows every once in a while for that kind of stuff. So optimism is kind of where we're at. I think that there's at least a potential for something good to come out of that, but I don't know. It's too recent. I don't want to keep on falling back on that. And then when asked if this meant they weren't giving up on their attempts to remaster the game, they replied, never give up. We don't give up. So the issue clearly is Monolith Productions is gone, and you typically go to the studio where they're known for developing the game. I know there's a whole thing when it comes to business, rights holders, publishers and stuff, but if you get the green light to remaster it, helps to maybe go to the studio that made it or be in contact with them about the idea of the game and like development process, and maybe even getting some of the, we'll say some of the like the older stuff for a museum you might set. Like there's a lot of cool stuff you can do there. And this is definitely a franchise that now, I mean, like I said, I didn't even really play it back then, and now there's plenty of people who have never even heard of the game. But it was an interesting take on like 60s like spy stuff, and it was definitely kind of tongue-in-cheek and humorous at times. But I'd be interested in trying it if we could get it on like just modern current platforms, any platform. Even getting it on a disc with a CD key, it's like, oh, hopefully the resolution and my setup here on the PC doesn't completely break this game. So at the very least, maybe GOG can figure something out there with the rights and a patch, and then put it out for, typically they do like 10 or 15 bucks or something, because I would certainly look into it there. But definitely let me know if you were someone who had played either the first or second No One Lives Forever, and let me know what really set that apart for you back then when it came out. And in our last bit of news, let's talk about Microsoft's push right now for the PlayStation 5, because we have a bit of an update when it comes to some of the sales placements and pre-orders on the system, because you can see those. How are things doing? How are they tracking on the PlayStation 5? And it does look like Microsoft is starting to take over some of the top spots on that chart. So, for example, we can see this posted up. This is over on Pure Xbox, and you can see sort of the top section here. These are like the 12 different games they have there when it comes to upcoming or pre-orders. And they say, looking at the pre-order section on the PS5 store today, Xbox has 3 games in the top 10 in the US and 5 games in the top 12 if you count the special editions of Indiana Jones and Forza Horizon 5 as well, which, I mean, that places it above things like even Death Stranding 2 right now. Elden Ring, Night Rain, it's above that with both Forza and Indiana Jones. And it's such a weird image to look at, isn't it? On the PS5, hey, here's Forza. Forza's the big one, because that Doom's been there before. Indiana Jones, the Bethesda game, and I know that Bethesda obviously with Microsoft, but like, you know what I'm saying with Forza, the long-standing Microsoft Xbox franchise. There it is, one of the top spots on the PlayStation 5. And this does seem to be showing that Microsoft's strategy here, for them, their perspective, where Satya Nadella doesn't really get the idea of exclusives. I mean, this is showing that in terms of generating revenue, he's right, but there's still that sense for many of us who are a bit older, go back to the old days of exclusives being king. This still looks weird, and the strategy seems strange. But it's hard to argue when you see yourself at the top of these charts, and it's like, look at all the money we're making for just moving these games over later even. Now, I still think you're going to see first-party Microsoft games just start going over immediately. Like Fable will probably be a big one, where it just shows up, hey, here's a PS5 logo now, it's all coming out at the same time. And then when the Switch 2 comes out, you're going to see a lot of this as well. And the thing that I'm curious is we get to a position where Microsoft, with their Xbox division, actually starts generating legit profit and revenue over like operating profit. Like all of a sudden, they're like, oh wow, Xbox is making money for us. It's not typical for that to happen for them like at all. Usually you have to like hide the numbers or move them around a bit or use a lot of percentages to try to puff up the Xbox. But if it starts generating legitimate revenue by leveraging PlayStation and Nintendo with some of these late ports, it'd be very interesting to see how Microsoft starts to talk about that Xbox division, and if they decide to make more and more aggressive moves, not just from acquisitions, but even from publishing deals. Remember, they made Ninja Gaiden 4 a reality. What else will they go out there and look for with different publishing deals? Things that maybe wouldn't be able to come together unless Phil Spencer came knocking with a big bag of money. And before we go to the comment of the day, we'll take a look at the poll that I posted up yesterday, where I ask, have you bought a physical gaming magazine in the last 12 months? There you go. 93% say no, 7% say yes. Well, it's not like there's many that are, I guess, available technically. Like, I'm trying to think, if I go to we're usually go to a grocery store back in the day, or at like a general, like Walmart or something, depending on what was in your area then. I mean, really, you'd go to a GameStop and you'd expect to see them there, or just like anything that had an electronic section, you would see a bunch of gaming magazines, but it is harder and harder to place them now. You just don't see them around as much. So, I mean, yeah, this makes perfect sense. Otherwise, you'd probably have to go online to find one that's set up through a subscription that's probably held up by just fans at that point.
Uy, ahí está. Ok, eso ya había salido, ¿no? Muy bonito. Dragon Quest 1 y 2 este año. No he jugado al 3, pero bueno.
I'm Shinya Takahashi, and I'll be your guide for today's Nintendo Direct. Today, we'll be providing information on upcoming Nintendo Switch games. We'll also have a Nintendo Direct for Nintendo Switch 2 on April 2nd. So please tune in for that as well.
La siguiente semana Switch 2.
What you just saw was Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D remake from Square Enix. Another character appeared at the end. What kind of adventure awaits? We hope you're excited for more information in the future. Okay, let's see the first batch of headlines.
Escape from dire straits.
Esa mamada.
Until oxygen 0.
Juegos de compu baratos. ¿O qué es eso? Ah, no es el que pensaba.
The latest entry in the The Somnium Files series is stirring.
¿Qué es
You
esto?
are Kaname Date, a special agent with a sophisticated AI called Aiba embedded in his left eye. Your mission is to track down Iris, an internet idol who has been trapped in a mysterious escape game. Conduct interviews to investigate Iris's whereabouts. Dive into a subject's dreams to reveal clues hidden deep within their psyche. And solve mind-bending puzzles in an explorable environment. Everything you learn will bring you one step closer to the truth. Uncover what's hidden in reality and dreams to rescue Iris. No Sleep for Kaname Date from The Somnium Files launches on the Nintendo Switch system July 25th.
¿Y de qué trata el juego? ¿Qué?
Unleash the supernatural.
Eso se ve un juego viejo.
A classic Atlas action RPG returns with remastered HD graphics and enhanced gameplay.
Atlus.
Booyah.
Set in the capital city in the year Taisho 20, Raido Kuzunoha makes his living as an apprentice
Buen día,
detective. But
Buenas.
unbeknownst
¿Cómo
to
anda?
others, he also fights alongside
Bien, bien.
demons as a devil summoner. To protect the capital, Raido must
¿Está viendo el
investigate a
canal?
series of supernatural cases.
Ah, ya vi.
Fight in real-time battles alongside demons you summon. Work with your demons to strike an enemy's
Pues anunciando
then
el
follow up
Silson
with a
de
Oye, se ve
powerful
bueno ese
attack.
juego de Atlus.
Cooperation is the key to victory.
Ah, de
You
Play
can
2.
turn opposing demons into allies. Demons
Ah,
can also
son
be useful
remaster.
outside of battle,
Es el de Persona.
and their powers are
Sí,
helpful in
es el
finding
Summer.
solutions during investigations.
Mira, cómo sacan el
Guide
tag.
Raido through a series of strange incidents.
Raido.
I assume you're the bird who gave us a call?
as he
Pues sale
uncovers
en
a
el
conspiracy
en
that
el
will
3.
shake the capital to its
Él sale en
core.
En el
Persona
Shin
3.
Megami Tensei.
Rido
Shin
Remastered,
Megami.
the
Sí, como un
history of the Soulless Army,
Sale
launches on Nintendo
este y
Switch
el dante de
June 19.
America.
Junio
Pre-orders
19.
begin later today on Nintendo eShop.
¿Ah?
Va bien este direct.
Consume darkness.
Es el de Pac-Man,
Vamos a
¿no?
ver.
With your
Oh,
memories
sí.
gone, you have been summoned to a strange,
Es el
unfamiliar
Pac-Man de...
world where you're greeted
No,
by
sí,
a
remaster.
yellow orb known as Puck.
No, es el Pac-Man de...
But who
¿Cómo
is
se
this
llama?
spherical stranger? Moored in a
Pac-Man.
mysterious, maze-like world, your battle for survival
Ah,
begins.
sí, que
El de Secret Levels.
As Puck guides you on your journey,
Sí, mucho.
you'll delve deeper into the expansive world. By examining your surroundings, you can phase shift and combine with Puck to explore areas you
te
couldn't
combinas
reach
con
before.
Pac-Man.
But tread lightly. The creatures
mo.
inhabiting this world will prove hostile. When facing imposing enemies, you and Puck can temporarily fuse into the Gaia form to unleash powerful attacks. By consuming your prey, you'll collect resources
Qué bueno ese
that can
juego.
then be used to enhance your abilities.
sí lo habían anunciado antes. Creo que me dijo.
Work to uncover Puck's true goal and devour enemies to survive this cruel world. Experience a dark twist on the iconic Pac-Man when Shadow Labyrinth launches on Nintendo Switch July 18th.
Shadow Labyrinth. ¿Cuándo sale? ¿Cuándo sale?
The rhythmic march begins. To survive this cruel world launches on Nintendo Switch.
Julio.
Remasters of Patapon and Patapon 2 are drumming onto Nintendo Switch as one bundle. Play your drum to the beat and give different commands to the Patapon army. For example, Pata 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 Pawn advances them forward,
Otro Pokémon, ya anunciaron Pokémon, otro Pokémon.
while Pawn Pawn
¿Cómo?
Pata Pawn has them attack.
Anunciaron otro Pokémon.
And if
Otro
you string
Pokémon,
together
no han anunciado
combos with
otro
good
ahorita.
timing, the Patapons enter
Ahorita solo
fever mode
anunciaron
and
Dragon
get a
Quest
big
1 y
boost in
2.
power.
Sale este año.
From the horse-riding Kiba Pawn to the shield-savvy Tate Pawn, build up your battalion
El
to
Pokémon
take
Z,
on
¿no?
hordes of
Uno
fierce
como muy
foes.
japonés. Este de Atlus. El Raido.
Plus, new features have been
De
added,
Pac-Man.
so you can advance to
El
the beat
Devil,
of your own
Devil
drum.
Summon,
Pero el Pokémon,
Phil Song.
lo
Lead
último
the
es que hace poco
Patapons
hicieron
and
el
march
AZ
forth.
o algo así
When
en trailer.
Patapon 1+2 Replay
mo.
launches on
Que yo
Nintendo
pensaba que
Switch
AZ va a ser
July
como una
11th.
nueva generación, pero no, es como usando las viejas. No es todavía el Pokémon
Welcome
de
to
siguiente
Zephyr
generación. No tiene una
A
nueva generación
cozy
de
place
Pokémon.
Oh, okay.
nestled in a windswept valley. This is where your new life begins.
Story of Seasons.
First cropping up on the Nintendo DS system, this immersive farming and life sim has no shortage of activities to get up to.
Oh, you must be the new farmer.
Tend to your farm while growing crops and caring for animals. Then sell your produce and other wares at the town's weekly bazaar.
¿Qué
As
es esto?
bazaar
Como
sales
un
grow, you'll help the once famous market regain its former
Animal
splendor.
Como un Harvest Moon.
You
Harvest
can
Moon,
also
ándale,
get to
ándale.
know the locals
Justo estaba pensando en eso.
more time with you.
and maybe nurture a relationship if you find that
Ah,
special
mira, se
someone.
casa.
Dijimos Harvest Moon.
Plus, taking advantage
Quizá
of
el Harvest
Town's
Moon y-
windy conditions can make travel and other tasks a breeze. The winds of change are coming, and your new life on the farm begins when Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar launches on the Nintendo Switch system August 27th.
Ok, no lo voy a jugar.
Please look forward to the latest entry in the Story of Seasons series. Next, please take a look at this.
Monster Hunter. Uy, Metroid Prime. Metroid. Beyond.
Uf, otro billón.
This is
Según las malas lenguas se anuncia supuestamente el remaster de
Here, Samus finds a
del
broken
2
jungle with a
y
colossal
un
tree
Zelda de
at the
remaster de
center.
eso. A ver si sale.
No, yo no creo que salga remaster.
In order to
Yo creo que
survive
sabes que van a hacer
and escape
como
this
el
planet that she was
la
unexpectedly
consola virtual
transported
del GameCube
to, Samus must scan stone figures and other relics to
y
carve a path
ahí
forward.
saldría el 2 y el 3. Porque creo que se filtró que ya van a sacar como un control de GameCube, así como sacaron del 64 y
She's
del
not
NES,
alone though.
hasta del
Abhorrent
Sega.
alien creatures living in the jungle are waiting to strike.
Pero no creo que hagan así una versión de ese.
Que se pasaron de lanza con el
As she explores the planet,
Fatal Fury
Samus
que
is
metieron
granted
al
mysterious
Cristiano.
and ancient
Ah, está
powers.
chido.
Psychic abilities. These powers allow Samus to operate mechanisms and to open doors.
Tiene
They
habilidades
also allow her to
psíquicas.
control the trajectory of her beams with the
Oh.
power of her mind. But why were these powers bestowed upon Samus? And what will be her fate after being summoned to Vuros? The threads intertwining beyond space and time are beginning to weave a new tale.
Este año sale para Switch normal. Está bueno, quiere decir que uy, ¿quién es ese?
It
Trajecito
looks
ese.
like even more challenges await Samus.
Ahora se ve cool.
We hope you're looking forward to exploring with Samus's new psychic abilities.
Muy moderno.
Okay, let's move on to some more headlines.
Ready to stir up some mischief? Once upon a time, there was a drab coffee shop that transformed into a magical potion cafe. As the newest potionista of the cursed cafe, you'll craft concoctions for Disney villains and get to know them in a new light. Mix
No lo voy a
ingredients
jugar.
to brew all sorts of strange elixirs. Then serve them to your villainous visitors, including Ursula and Gaston. With help from Yzma,
¿Quién sabe?
you can upgrade your ingredients to
¿Tú
produce
vas a
some
jugar ese?
wildly wicked creations. The potions you make
No, no
can
sé.
influence
Tal
each
vez.
customer's storylines,
El de
leading
los
to
villanos de
different
Disney.
no sé.
outcomes every time you play. Who knows what
Depende.
mischief
Si eso juega
might
Carlos
happen?
Flash.
Disney Villains
No lo es.
Cursed Cafe launches on Nintendo
Haces
Switch
pociones, haces
later
como
today.
café.
Summon a spellbinding adventure.
Harry Potter.
Viva.
Welcome to Witchbrook College, where students strive to master the magical arts. During class, use magic circles to perform rituals, fly
Harry
on
Potter.
brooms, and learn advanced techniques to go from witch in training to skilled spellcaster. There's also plenty to do outside of class. Hang out with friends at their homes. Take on various jobs to help pay for tuition. or use the spells you've learned to craft and sell original items.
Qué hueva de
Plus, up to
juegos.
4 players can make magic together in online co-op. Explore this whimsical world on the road to graduation and beyond. Are you ready for a spellbinding journey? Enrollment begins when Witchbrook flies onto Nintendo Switch this holiday.
Wishbrook.
Action, adventure, and arcade games await. Set off on a fantastical mission to eliminate a mysterious deity. In this hand-drawn platforming adventure, you'll explore an expansive archipelago where nightmares and wonder collide. Upgrade your trusty cane with magical parts, then use its abilities to find your own path through the enchanting world. Can you
O sea, solo
uncover the
Knight, pero eres
secrets
un
the
viejito
archipelago
pedorro.
holds? Find out when The Eternal Life of Goldman launches on Nintendo Switch this holiday. Celebrate the 40th anniversary of Gradius with a collection of
Llevan
arcade
15 minutos
shoot 'em
el
up
juego y
games
ya
from
anunciaron
across the
Metroid
series.
Prime 4. O sea, ya hicieron un
Titles
trailer que
include
nunca vi. Para mí que va a haber algo bueno después también.
Salamander, Light Force,
O sea, porque si no hubieran guardado eso para el
Gradius
final.
2,
Ándale.
Gradius 3, and Salamander 2.
La
Some titles
Gradius.
come with multiple versions, including ones from different regions and launch years. Plus, take the helm in a brand new
Collection.
entry, Salamander 3.
¿Tú jugaste esos de Salamander? Sí, se ven buenos.
Gradius Origins launches
Simón.
on the Nintendo Switch system August 7th. Pre-orders begin later today on Nintendo eShop.
De super.
Battle to the beat in Rift of the Necro Dancer. Press the corresponding buttons in each lane to fight monsters in rhythm-based combat. Keep the cadence going with epic boss battles, quirky minigames, remixed stages, and global leaderboards. Plus,
more
more
funky.
musical mayhem awaits in the Celeste Music Pack paid DLC. And be on the lookout for more DLC in the future. Rift of the Necro Dancer launches on Nintendo Switch later today. Let's see what's in store.
Necrodancer.
Welcome to Tamagotchi Plaza, a brand new entry in the Tamagotchi Connection series. There are stores galore. Design glasses at the eyewear shop. Polish pearly whites solo or with a friend at the dentist. And arrange plates at the afternoon tea shop.
Si no es
12 wonderful
Digimon, no
stores
quiero nada.
need your help. Provide good customer service to get high ratings and upgrade each shop. In doing so, you'll get to meet more Tamagotchi, making the town livelier than before. With over 100 new and classic Tamagotchi, business is sure to be booming. Get ready to set up shop when Tamagotchi Plaza launches on Nintendo Switch June 27th.
Ahí está el Pokémon.
ah,
Yo lo quiero jugar.
o sea, es parte del último
Pokemon
Pokémon.
Legends ZA, a new title in the Pokemon series. You'll begin your adventure by choosing
O
one of
sea,
3
no
partner
salen
Pokemon.
de todas las generaciones.
The setting is this
Creo,
metropolis.
o sea, puede
but
ser
also
Toto
appear in
el
the
tu primer
Pokemon X
Pokémon.
and Pokemon Y games. Lumio City. To make it easier for people and Pokemon to coexist, a company named
No creo que no
Quasarticle
está todo
Inc. is
ahí,
carrying
pero-
out an urban redevelopment plan. Here, we'll get a glimpse into the lives of the Pokemon and people of Lumio City.
Solo que este Pokémon es todo en una ciudad. Yo no
Scattered
entiendo
all
cómo
over
va a haber
town are
Pokémon
wild zones.
legendarios o cosas así más raras, ya sabes.
These areas are
Porque
special
creo que estoy en una
environments where
ciudad y
wild
no salen de
Pokemon
esa
can
ciudad.
live comfortably, even
La
within the
Lumio
city.
sale en varios juegos de Pokémon en esa ciudad enorme, pero ahorita va a
You
ser
can
como
catch
un mundo
Pokemon
abierto.
here. But they might be
Digo,
hostile.
ahí te están
If
enseñando
you
que
sense
hay
trouble, get to
áreas de
safety.
Pokémones salvajes, pero
There are
Ah, es como el
outside
Arceus.
too.
Ya vi.
Ándale, es como el Arceus, pero en una
Some of
ciudad.
them can even be found on rooftops. People and Pokemon live easygoing lives in Lumio City. But when night falls, the city's aura transforms. Highly skilled trainers are invited to participate in a tournament, the ZA Royale. Trainers await in battle zones. If you're spotted, they'll challenge you to battle. Strike first before being seen, and you'll land a surprise attack. During battles, using a super effective move at the right moment is key.
¿No es el nuevo? No.
And with Mega
Pero
Evolution,
juegas más como
some
acción, mira.
Pokemon can power up even
Sí,
more.
mo.
O sea, tu Pokémon se mueve, puede esquivar.
You'll start at rank Z and work your way up to rank A.
Ah, volvieron las
Pueden atacar
evoluciones.
a ti y tú esquivarlos a
Trainers who
ellos.
reach the top are said to have a wish granted. Day and night are two sides to Lumio
Ese bueno
City.
ese Pokémon.
It seems there are even more secrets waiting to be uncovered. What will you find on your adventure?
Sí, mo.
Pokemon Legends ZA launches on Nintendo Switch later this year.
In Lumio City, where the game is set,
Finales del
aura
25.
transforms between day and night. It seems there are
No
even
decía
more
finales,
secrets
decía
to
que en el
uncover.
25.
Please be
puede
on the
ser
lookout
mañana.
for more
Obviamente no
information
creo.
in the future.
Yo creo que estos
Next,
juegos, aunque sean de
please
Switch
take a
1,
look
van a
at
salir
this.
cuando salgan el Switch 2 o por ahí.
Hello there.
Porque el Switch 1, el Switch 2 va a poder
The
jugar
game
los
you're
juegos
about
de
to
Switch
see
1. O hasta puede
doesn't
ser que
have a
salga
big
una
epic
versión
story.
para...
But what it does have is lots of funny little rhythm games.
¡Qué hueva!
You wanna see? Boop. Just press the button to jump through the ring. Boop.
¿Por qué tiene hipos, sabes?
It sounds easy. But the timing is super tricky. Boop. Maybe you could try it in time to a rhythm?
No lo voy a jugar.
In this game, you might do almost anything, but you'll need to do it in rhythm. With practice, you might even be able to play it with your eyes.
Nintendo y sus Nintendadas.
Sí, o sea, ponen esto después de un Pokémon.
Quería mover sangre.
Get into the rhythm
Parece
with a brand new
WarioWare.
entry in the Rhythm Heaven
Sí,
series.
mo. Parece Wario, ¿qué?
Rhythm Heaven Groove.
2026.
That was Rhythm Heaven Groove, a brand new entry in the Rhythm Heaven series.
Pues sí, no creo
It
que
includes
necesiten
lots
el
of
Switch
music
2 para
produced by
correr esta
renowned
mierda.
Japanese musician Tsunku. What kinds of rhythms do you think you'll hear? We hope you're looking forward to it. Next, we have news about the use of digital games on your system. Please take a look.
Digital Games on Your System. ¿Saldrá el GameCube? Creo que ahí viene GameCube, ¿eh?
With game cards,
Ah.
you can put a game featuring Mario in this Nintendo Switch system and a Legend of Zelda game in this one, freely inserting the games you have on hand into any system you want. But what if digital games could be as flexible and convenient as game cards?
Oh,
Well, here's
wow,
what we
eso
came
está
up with.
chingón.
Introducing the Virtual Game Card. In the future, virtual game cards can be used for digital games.
Wow, está chingón eso. Claro.
when purchasing the digital version of a game, it will be loaded onto your system as a virtual game card, allowing you to play that title. Your digital games will be lined up as virtual game cards on a dedicated management screen.
Espera.
Here, you can load and eject your virtual game cards and manage which games you can play on your system. If you have two Nintendo Switch systems, you can eject a virtual game card from one and load it onto the second. Now you can play this game on the second system wherever and whenever you want, just as if you had inserted a physical game card. With virtual game cards, you can freely load and arrange which games you play on up to two systems. Local communication with your second system is required, but only the first time. You can also lend out virtual game cards to your Nintendo account family group members. Connect to your family group member system via local wireless when you want to lend a game. Choose the title you're lending and who you're lending it to.
A ver, eso ya se puede. ¿Nos están limitando o qué, Arles? No
And you're
entiendo.
done.
Yo pensé que
They can now
podías
play
descargar
on their own
digitalmente
system.
los juegos que ya tienes en físico.
You can only lend one game at a time to a particular person. Games can be lent out for 2 weeks, after which they will automatically return to you. Making digital games even easier to use. Virtual game card.
Ah, bueno, pero se lo puedes prestar a otras cuentas. Eso está bueno.
The virtual game card feature lets you swap games between Nintendo Switch systems as well as to Nintendo Switch 2 systems. This feature is planned to be added via a system update in late April. Let's take a look at more Nintendo Switch games.
No, está bien.
Sí, o sea, tipo tú y yo nos hacemos familia. Mira High on Life. Digo, ese ya está. Se ve horrible en el Switch. No creo que corra bien High on Life en el Switch.
No. Tengo que yo lo acabe.
Yo no lo acabé, pero lo jugué buen rato cuando está en Game Pass. Creo que ahorita está en PlayStation Plus.
Sí, yo lo jugué, lo acabé en Play 4. ¿Sabes Game Pass, no?
¿Cuál será el último trailer?
Uncover history once more. An HD remaster of Saga Frontier 2 is venturing onto Nintendo Switch. Meet Gustav, the royal heir, and Will, the explorer.
Saga Frontier.
Two heroes whose fates and legacies will intertwine across generations in this epic RPG.
No, segundo.
Ya son la media hora.
Experience the original story, along with brand new events that expand the vibrant world of Sondale. Plus, team up with more characters in battle. And transfer stats to allies through the parameter inheritance system.
Media hora va a durar
main story, you can test your mettle and might against even more powerful bosses. What histories will you uncover through the ages? Saga Frontier 2 Remastered launches on Nintendo Switch later today.
Ah, bueno, que salga hoy está padre.
Monumental adventures await. Embark on peaceful journeys across this series of beautiful puzzle games. Wander through isometric worlds filled with stunning landscapes to manipulate, optical illusions to discover, and mystifying secrets to unfold. In Monument Valley, lead the silent Princess Ida in her quest for forgiveness while outsmarting the enigmatic crow people. A different journey awaits in Monument Valley 2. Guide Ro in her adventure through motherhood as she and her child unlock the secrets of the sacred geometry. Both games contain all their additional chapters, add-ons, and DLC. The first 2 Monument Valley games launch on Nintendo Switch April 15th. Pre-orders begin later today on Nintendo eShop. And help Noor on her journey to restore the world's light in Monument Valley 3, setting sail on Nintendo Switch this summer.
¿Golf? ¿El golf de PlayStation?
A brand new entry in the Everybody's Golf series is driving onto Nintendo Switch. Aim, time your button press just right, and take your shot.
Nice shot.
Perform backspins, side spins, and other special shots. In the single-player challenge mode, compete in tournaments and face off against a range of rivals to become the ultimate golfer. In Wacky Golf, your shots could get pulled into holes, or obstacles might fall. It's golf that's not quite par for the course. Up to 4 golfers can hit the fairway together locally or in online play. So just relax and get ready to tee off. Everybody's Golf Hot Shots lands on Nintendo Switch this year. Unite some of Marvel's greatest superheroes in the fight against evil. Pair up 2 heroes from the roster of 15, including the likes of the spectacular Spider-Man and the ferocious Wolverine to take on the challenge. From close quarters combatants to aerial aces, you can mix and match a variety of heroes for an amazing array of possibilities. And swap between your team of 2 at any time. Take advantage of your team's strengths to overwhelm your foes. Plus, up to 4 players can assemble for local or online co-op play. The battle for the fate of the Marvel Universe Marvel Cosmic Invasion launches on the Nintendo Switch system this holiday.
That was Marvel Cosmic Invasion, where you'll battle as a tag team of different superheroes. Next is our last game announcement. Please take a look.
Ultimo.
Este fue el último.
Ok, no es Hollow Knight. No es Bloodborne 2. He hecho un pedo. Son como los de Wii, ¿no?
Los Mi.
How refreshing.
Frame rate a 2.
Hiya. Tomodachi Life, living the dream.
Hasta el 2026 esta basura.
Qué bueno. Salud. Ah, ¿tosiste?
Sí.
Did you want to talk?
Ah. Glad that was only a dream.
Sí, en Metroid.
That was Tomodachi Life, Living the Dream, the first new entry in the series in over 10 years. In the trailer, we saw me characters living on an island out at sea. What kinds of interactions do you think they'll have?
Ya sé, va a llorar el negro ahorita.
We hope you're looking forward to it. Thank you for watching today's Nintendo Direct so far. Our final announcement is something a little different that's not a game.
Puta madre.
Here's Mr. Miyamoto to introduce it.
un último.
Hello, I'm Shigeru Miyamoto. Thank you for watching today's Nintendo Direct. Since 2011, Nintendo Direct has delivered Nintendo news to you. And now, these presentations have grown into an event that many people watch. Thank you all very much. We'll continue to broadcast Nintendo Direct presentations, but we're also launching a new channel based on the concept of delivering information to you directly. This is a smart device app called Nintendo Today, which functions like a daily calendar. In the app, you can view different Nintendo events. We will also be delivering all sorts of content about Nintendo games and characters every day. After the Nintendo Direct for Nintendo Switch 2 on April 2nd, news about Nintendo Switch 2 will be delivered to you daily and directly through the Nintendo Today app as well. Nintendo Today will be available to download on smart devices later today.
Eso sí lo voy a
Anyone
bajar.
with a Nintendo account can use the app, so please try it out. That's all I have to share. I hope you enjoy using Nintendo Today.
No, pues van a sacar como noticias y cosas ahí diarias, pero seguro van a ser como imágenes.
That's
pendejas.
all for today's Nintendo Direct.
Sí.
Thank you for watching.
Pues no anunciaron nada.
No hubo Hollow Knight, no hubo Bloodborne 2,
Silksong.
no hubo el nuevo God of War, no hubo un nuevo Halo. Pero bueno.
Estuvo flojón.
Estuvo bueno. Para ser ya de los últimos, que ya va a salir el Switch 2 en una semana, yo creo que estuvo bastante bueno. O sea, hubo... Empezaron con Dragon Quest, que ya estaba anunciado, pero bueno, que sale este año, el 1 y 2. Luego este se ve bueno. El de Atlus. Está bastante bueno. Play 2. Pero este es como un remake, no remastered, sí. Este salió en el Play 2, ¿me dices?
Llamo. El 1 y el 2 también.
El de Pac-Man se ve bueno. El Metroid 4, pues buenísimo. Luego muchas de estas mamadas como Harvest Moon. Tamagotchi, el Pokémon. Qué bueno, Pokémon creo que ya está todo anunciado.
Or a transform.
El Pokémon.
Su mamada de los cartuchos, a ver, está bueno porque...
One game at a time to a particular person. Games.
Porque puedes... Eso de los cartuchos no está mal.
También esperaba algo del Capitán Falcon. Pero tampoco.
Las noticias de Nintendo, y sí, ahí está. Pero bueno, yo voy a parar el directo. Igual ahorita le sigo al Persona 5 que estoy picadísimo. Pero voy a ver qué hace.
¿Todavía no acaba? A la vez.
No, para nada. Acabo de ganarle al pelón.
Ah.
Al pelón ya le gané, pero creo
Yo pensé que ya lo habías acabado.
Lo de Royal, el DLC. Tengo que subir mi nivel con la pelirroja para poder seguir el juego, creo. Pero tengo un chingo de días para hacerlo.
Está bueno. Que me dormí otro rato.
Ahorita nos vemos. Yo creo que ahorita voy a streamear en un ratito.
Está bueno. A ver si me
Quiero
despierto.
acabar esto.
Sale.
Como